Welcome back to the nerdery with our nerdiness and our calculators and our algorithms. I forgot last time, by the way. This is the Great Games Podcast, or at least that's what we're calling it right now. Kind of inside joke like last time. We always used to do that with Halo 1, but if you didn't hear the last one, I think we didn't really properly introduce you last time, did we?
Me?
Yeah, we kind of said that. I kind of said that. Hey, it's my friend Cheese we're talking to, and he's in Texas, sort of. But like,
that's all you need to know about me. That's my entire persona.
That's your entire persona.
Guy who lives in Texas now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you didn't really introduce yourself. That was all like what we did, because I said I was kind of a screenwriter and wrote movies and TV show pilots among other things, and like worked on a reality TV show. But you never really kind of introduced yourself at all. So I kind of want to take this time, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you. No, I guess I don't know. I'm not compared to your sort of exciting life there in modern media. I work an office job or a desk job, I guess, from home, and got a wife and a 2-year-old daughter now. So I went the other route. I'm like the boring suburban dad at this point, which is, not at all where I thought I would end up, but happy to be here at least. I mean,
right.
It is the right thing.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah, it was the right thing for me, for sure.
I mean, how many people who work in Hollywood are depressed, and it's happiness, I think, is the key here.
Yeah, I mean, how many people in Hollywood have got normal kids?
Well, right. Normal kids.
In that place, at least, I think we've got I'm ahead so far, but
right.
Anyways, yeah.
But your name is actually Chris, so I mean, it's I call you Cheese. I've always called you Cheese since high school. Like you're actually, of the two of us, my name is Travis. It's very it's very nerd type name. But you have your name is actually
Travis is a nice name. I don't know.
It's okay, I guess. But I mean, your nickname is from The Wire. I think Method Man's character from The Wire is named Cheese. So you got a cool like Wire nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
at best?
He lived, I think, right? Cheese did?
I don't remember. It's been a while. I think so. I don't think Method Man died on The Wire. I could be wrong. Somebody's like posting a link right now of his death scene.
Yeah, he's definitely dead.
Oops. Yeah. He's definitely dead.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Method Man's so fucking awesome. He's so cool. He's one of the best.
There's no Red Man in that one, though. Just Method Man.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They usually come hand in hand.
Well, it's not how high, it's The Wire. It's not. They're not going to do a double act with the two of them, even though they probably should.
That would have been good too.
Seriously.
All right. Well, I'm excited about E3. How about you?
Right. That's you're hosting it up better than I am, because I was going to segue to that. Yeah, E3 is really the idea. Yeah, E3 is really the point of what we're doing here. We're a little late, a couple days after E3, but we had to let it soak in. Plus our jobs. Plus I have a wife. Plus you have a wife and kids, and it's hard to get together. And we're poor.
Life.
Actually, you're probably you're probably not poor, but I'm poorer. Yeah. I mean, you have kids, so you have more expenses than I do. I just have, gotta live and all that. Anyway, so yeah, E3 was ridiculous. I know we were talking about Death Stranding before and Halo, and since last time we chatted, Halo Infinite. We talked about Halo here, and how it kind of brought us together, Halo 1, and I wanted to talk about the fact that Halo Infinite it seems to be calling back to the original Halo. I don't know if that's the same Halo ring, but it's definitely the same music, same armor.
Yeah. I don't know that I played through the whole last one. I think I covered most of it, though, and I wasn't sure the significance of the ring.
I don't remember it either.
Halo.
I wasn't a huge fan of the last one, to be honest with you. The storytelling was all over the place.
And it was like, when it first came out, it was like ugly. Yeah. Like, I went back, like, I had a memory of it being, like, really rough, and because that Xbox was super underpowered initially,
right,
like, it was just rough to look at, which you couldn't say about the first Halo, right? Like, that was a good-looking game at the time.
That was a good-looking game, for sure.
Still is.
Yeah, I know they've been ported. It's been ported since then, and there are videos that I've seen online where it's like the PC port of it has kind of screwed up the graphics since then. But yeah, the original Halo was very detailed, very unique at the time. constant frame. I was gonna say constant frame rate, but there was little moments of a bad frame rate in that game.
Yeah,
Still,
it was back when they like didn't have all the time in the world to test things, right? So you'd get weird situations where
no updates. Yeah, it's like
right,
I don't
right.
think there's no updates for Halo One. It's like what you got, what you got. The glitches, like we talked about that last time. The glitches
Yeah,
were actually fun glitches. You'd figure out, kind of exploit the game, stuff like that. Nothing game breaking at all.
like launch
You
a
could actually,
sniper
it wouldn't
rifle to
delete your saves
yourself
or anything.
across the screen, right?
Throw a grenade at the ground, let it fly across the map. Yeah, that was all sorts of cool stuff. Throwing grenades at the power ups, letting them go through the wall, stuff like that.
Yep.
It's great. It's
Yep.
great. Anyway, I bring up Halo Infinite because I'm hoping that it's open world. I'm hoping that they use the same music from the first game. I'm hoping that same armor, same feel. I'm hoping they bring the pistol back. But every time I hope these things, it's always different. It's never the same as Halo One. And at this point, that's okay. I've gotten over it.
There wasn't a ton of detail in the trailer. It looked great. I guess I didn't consider that it was real time, but I went back and sort of watched it in an analysis afterwards, and it was. I guess it makes sense now that it is real time because for real time it looks great.
Definitely.
It's super impressive. And
well, the first trailer with the Slipstream engine was ridiculously good looking, but I'm assuming that's for the PC version. I'm hoping that the new Xbox can handle that frame rate. That's what they keep saying.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like that's what's so hard to tell with all this stuff is that everything that's first party Xbox is cross platform now, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So I think like Gears 4 you can play cross platform.
Gears 5, the new one?
No, like the one that came out last year or the year before, that was all cross platform too. So I don't know what that'll mean for I think hopefully it just means it's easier to play with your friends, but I don't know what that'll mean for like any sort of multiplayer that you would play competitively. Like if someone's with a mouse and keyboard, that feels like it's gonna potentially skew things. But anyways, it's hard to tell when you're looking at things. Is that running on a PC? Is that running on an Xbox? Or
They probably won't have any kind of aim assist. I'm assuming on the PC, which you will on the Xbox. So maybe that would. I don't know. The myth is that PC and the mouse and keyboard is dominant every single time, which I'm sure it is, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Curious.
I played Destiny 2 on my PC with a controller plenty, just because it was what I was comfortable with, and for long periods of time, it made it easier on me. But
I keep forgetting that you can play with a controller on the PC. I've never been a PC gamer. I play like StarCraft, and I used to play Counter-Strike back in the day and stuff like that. I played PC games. I always liked the controller more than I never got comfortable 100% with the keyboard and mouse. Yeah. So I keep forgetting that you can use a controller with the PC.
Well, it just, for something like Destiny 2, it just, from what I understand, it plays like crud on consoles compared to the PC at this point.
That's how you know you're a dad.
Crud, yeah.
Plays like crud.
By golly, it plays like poop. I don't know. But the new Halo, so what do they need to, this is what I keep running through my mind. What does it need to do to make me interested again?
Well, for me, it needs to be a mix of stuff we love while also kind of changing the game up. For me, if it was an open world Halo and they changed how the single player was while having that epic story still, I don't know if I fully trust 343 with the storytelling at this point because they haven't really proven anything special with Halo yet.
Master Chief, isn't he like he's in love with Cortana now, or they're doing it, or I don't know what the deal was like.
I don't know. Well, the trailer, I think he's just I think we're gonna have to get Cortana back is the idea.
Oh.
Or well, I guess. He puts the chip in his head and it says AI lost, so there's no Cortana, but it seems like they're trying to go back to Halo 1, so logically, get Cortana back, right?
Yeah, I don't know. The last time I checked in, there was something she was talking about how they were romantically involved, and I was like, last time I checked, you were a computer.
I don't know about that. I don't think they've ever been romantically involved. I think they've had a relationship, like in the two of them, but I don't know if there was ever any romance there.
I don't know. It got icky. And I was not on board.
All right, I don't remember that, but whatever. So to answer your question, I just don't want To make me happy with the multiplayer, I like simplicity. I don't like powers. I don't like a million armors. I don't like a million jetpacks and like all that stuff. I like 8 to 10 really good weapons. I like a standard startup weapon like the Halo pistol. I know that they can't just make the Halo pistol the all be all end all weapon because everybody complains. Why isn't the machine gun or the battle rifle or whatever? Why isn't it a rifle?
Right. There's just something like a disconnect between having your pistol be because everything else is super realistic, right?
So. But it's of course, yeah. But that pistol was the best weapon in video game history, in my opinion. Like, it's the great equalizer. You grab that thing and you can fight anybody with any weapon.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there with the Quake railgun or like I don't know what else, the butt stomp.
The Doom shotgun. I don't know.
Yeah, right. The super shotgun. The double barrel.
I would put the Dead Space.
Oh yeah, the like
that original gun you get in Dead Space. God, what is it?
The rail the line splitter or something like that.
Not the line. Yeah, the line splitter is the big one you get. That's like the shotgun, sort of the laser shotgun, sort of. But yeah, just the original one you get that you can go up or down with. I don't remember what they call it specifically. That one is an amazing weapon too. But anyway, so yeah, a mix of old and new brings storytelling back. I mean, if you simplify it, you just have Chief be your main protagonist, trying to get maybe Cortana back. I'd be okay with that. I don't want it to repeat itself, but at the same time, I want it to feel like Halo 1 again. And if it's an open world, maybe if it's something new, if it wasn't just linear levels like before,
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. Like, I guess I see a lot of ways for them to deliver like a great polished campaign, but I don't know. Like, they need a hook at this point. They're not Call of Duty. They're not the super twitchy, gun porn.
No, definitely not.
They're not Battlefield with, whatever 100 versus 100 gameplay and like, that sort of that cutting edge, very bleeding edge graphic stuff.
Right.
They're not.
Well, they're trying to be with their new engine, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's sort of never been the last time the franchise was relevant. A lot of the current players weren't even out there, right? Like,
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I'd like to see them just go in a completely different direction, sort of. I mean, obviously you gotta keep your fan base happy.
Well, it's got to be Halo. You got to punch. You got to throw a grenade. You got to shoot. I mean, it's like that. Those are the tenets of Halo. If you got the vehicles in there.
Combat evolved, right? Like that was like its whole thing was that.
Yeah,
perfected short loop. Yeah, I agree, right? Like it's like the punch, the grenade, like that's flush your guys from cover, shoot them, and the run and gun that it sort of that first game had dialed in was awesome. And then the music, of course.
Oh, the music, yeah, so phenomenal. One of the best soundtracks in video game history, bar none. But I would be even okay at this point because there's been so many Halos. If they're going to reinvent the wheel, adding some RPG elements into the single player, if it was if it was co-op or whatever.
Yeah.
Not crazy, nothing crazy or anything, but maybe Chief levels up. Maybe you go and find stuff in the world. Maybe you gain new weapons and attachments, stuff like that. I'm okay with Halo evolving to having a more RPG-ish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Keep the co-op, keep the like Destiny, not like Destiny. I mean, but people are like, no, I don't like it like Destiny.
But even like Doom or something like that at this point. I mean, every like Wolfenstein or any of those games.
Yeah, everything's
have,
got
skill
RPG
trees,
elements at this
right?
point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'd be totally okay with that in the campaign. Making it so maybe the vehicles level up, maybe you get new vehicles, maybe you have a base. Any number of these things would be okay.
We really have no idea right now, right? Like it's
no idea.
Yeah, that's again like the trailer was showing some really. It looked great. It sounded good. Like I liked the just sort of the content of it, but it's the game is. I don't even know. They don't have a release date for it yet either, right? Like it could be.
I think it's going to launch with the new Xbox and. I don't remember if they gave a release date to it, but it'll launch with the new Xbox whenever that comes out.
Yeah, that's end of next year, I think. So it's still a long ways away. I mean, there's a whole nother E3 in front of us, right? So,
Yeah. We're gonna know at the next E3. We're gonna have gameplay. We're gonna have modes. Next year is gonna be the year of Halo.
Yeah, so I've got my fingers, sort of
Yeah.
cautiously crossed right now, I guess.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think we really needed to see any more of Death Stranding. That trailer was enough, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and that's coming soon. I mean, that's like, that's the
Yeah.
thing is that's coming out in November, I think, right? So it's,
Right.
if I don't see a ton about it, it's not the end of the world because I know it's coming soon. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still,
at this point, I'm sold. I'm gonna buy it. So
right.
I mean, it's this is one. My brother doesn't play that many games in a year. He's has an MBA in finance and high powered makes a lot more money than I do. It does crazy finance stuff. He still plays video games, but not as much.
Yeah.
Which is probably smart. I need to write. I need to finish the script I'm writing. I need to not play as many.
But
video
this
games.
is like research for you, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing.
It feels yeah. I know. I get to kind of say that. I get to experience storytelling, and I want to make games someday. I'd like to write games. I would love to do that for a living for sure. Yeah, I mean, I could say that. Like, I have some game ideas that I think would be really cool, both in concept and in story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But right now, I was going to ask you this actually, which I didn't ask you last time. We'll come back to the E3 stuff. But what game are you playing right now? Because I'm playing Persona 5 and I'm 120 hours into it. I'm almost done with it.
Nice. Yeah. So I don't, I was really I'm glad you brought it up. I just bought Cadence of Hyrule.
Right. I keep hearing about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, initially I don't know if the bounced off it is the right term, but I picked it up and played for 30 minutes and went, I just don't know if because it's all rhythm based, right? Like, so
yeah.
your movement and everything has to be timed to the beat. I think there is another mode where you can turn that off. But anyways, I'm playing, sort of in the initial configuration and gave it an hour to marinate and came back and then I've just been railing through it now.
You're into it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really, really enjoying it.
Cool.
It's gorgeous. It looks really good, which is a weird thing to say. I don't know if weird is the appropriate term, but it's funny to be able to say that about a pixel art game these days and a Switch game on top of that, right? Like those are not things that usually I would feel about this genre. But it looks really great, and the music's of course great. Like I'll listen to that
it better be.
Yeah, right. I mean that's
right.
That's the whole deal. But the music's great, and yeah, I'm having a really fun time with it. It's a little it's on the short side, I think.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's one of those things that I feel like is going to have a lot of replayability. So I'm really into that right now.
Awesome.
How's Persona? Yeah, sir, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say that segues me into two separate things. One is the Switch segues me into Fire Emblem, which comes out, I think, the 26th or the 28th.
Okay.
Which I just saw the E3 Treehouse for, which is kind of funny to say, the Nintendo Treehouse. But it looks...
Yeah, they seem to be like one of the only ones that are still representing at E3. Like, they're
Xbox is the big one, but yeah.
Yeah, but even Xbox doesn't have as much content. I feel like the Treehouse thing, they've got their own feed through all.
Well, they have
E3,
a lot
right?
of games. Xbox. Yeah, well, I mean, Xbox had like 80 games or 60 games or something, so they had a lot of games more than Nintendo did. Granted, they had probably more first-party games because it's all first-party at Nintendo for the most part.
Right.
But no, I'm just gonna say the next game I play is gonna be Fire Emblem on the Switch because I have a Switch. I have everything. Well, most things. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. I have a lot of systems. But Fire Emblem, I want to play. That looks really interesting. I don't know what else to say really about it. Have you ever you played Fire Emblem, right?
Yeah, I've played previous entries. The last one I played was on 3DS.
It's the last one I played too. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh man. No, I can't. I'm not going to remember.
I can't remember the names.
Because I think they've been like
crazy names.
There's been like 2 versions of all the games for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Where they released.
This I think is just going to be the one.
Okay. So yeah, one of the last one I played had sort of the 2 versions, and I like the formula, like the combat and everything. And maybe now that it's on Switch, I'll get back into it.
graphics look a lot better. The RPG stuff looks more interesting. I think the what really kind of caught my attention was you start out, I guess, in the beginning part of the game in like a school, and you have all your students, and you do little skirmishes and stuff like that. But like the people you chose to talk to and the groups you tend to, it's like Harry Potter, I guess, where you choose kind of a faction to be as, so you get like different people within that faction, and then depending on what you choose, you may fight the other people. Yeah, Hufflepuff, exactly.
Yeah.
Friggin'
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
Yeah. Slytherin, the other one.
So I'd say whatever. Yeah. So it's but yeah, the point is you make choices at the beginning. You choose who you talk to and who you kind of become friends with, or they're your students. So I mean, you kind of build them up a little bit, and then later, I guess there's like a 5-year later jump, and then it's you basically whatever your choices you did there kind of influence the war phase. So it's like later when it's like they're all out of school and now it's a big war that's happening. So it's kind of like it's a little like Persona, I think, in terms of that, who you talk to and.
Like
Kind of the time management simulator thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but I haven't played it yet, obviously. But it looks interesting and it looks better than the other ones do. The graphics look better, the fighting. Anyway, that's the next game I was going to play next. That's segueing me into that. The other one was there was a trailer for the new the new Zelda.
Yeah.
That was
Link's
what we were talking
Awakening.
about before. Well, there's that, but no, Breath of the Wild 2, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, they both. I mean, well, Breath of the Wild. That's interesting that they're going back and actually making a direct sequel to a Zelda game, right? It's this one and it's
I'm
Majora's
sure it's
Mask.
because it made so much money at this point. But I mean, Nintendo's never really been about. I mean, I guess Nintendo's never really about making direct sequels if they don't, if they don't have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's Majora's Mask and Galaxy.
But even that's not a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time, right?
It's in the same like world. I thought that it was. It's reusing all the assets from. Ocarina of Time, I guess.
But I don't know if it's a direct sequel, like kind of
same
the same
protagonist.
Well,
I'm not sure.
The same protagonist, but it's always Link.
It's always
I guess they're different versions
Link, though,
of Link,
right? Yeah.
I guess it's like a James Bond whenever they switch James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. There's a Pierce Brosnan and
Right. My second favorite James Bond, by the way, not my first.
Roger Moore.
Sean Connery, of course.
Richard Moore.
Richard Moore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of. But before we get too far by it, I wanted to ask you about Persona 5. How you were enjoying that?
It's great. So I bought it actually, I think in 2017 because I had never played a Persona game ever, but this was like so highly reviewed. I was like, I got to play it. I had no idea about it, so I didn't know that you had to. You had a finite amount of time to beat the palace.
Right.
You have to beat the palace, and then you have 15 days or whatever. Like I saw the time limit, but what I didn't know, I beat the first palace with 1 day to spare, and I didn't realize that you have to send the calling card, which takes a day, and then so you need really 2 days.
There's this
to do it.
So the game, the loop sort of gameplay in that game is each segment or you live out each day sort of, right? Like there's a morning and an afternoon and an evening, and you're a student in Tokyo, I think.
Mostly you get to do 2 things in a day. You get to each thing takes up the daytime and then the evening.
Right.
So you have to choose kind of wisely who you talk to.
And you have to go to school on Saturday too.
I don't know how they do it. That's why they're so much ahead. They're so far ahead of us.
That's why they have Gundams.
So far ahead. That's probably also why they have a high suicide rate. But let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so do we, but. They're still going to school on Saturday.
They're just not making enough other people to replace those ones. That's the problem, I think.
Oh my God. All right. That's terrible. Oh my God. Let's get back to the nerdery stuff. The nerds.
So you're 120 hours in?
Yeah. So anyway, the point of that whole story was I had all my saves with the day left. And it was 20 to 30 hours in, and I just lost. The game was game over. You don't have enough time to send the calling card and to beat the boss. You're done. So I didn't know that, and I got so pissed. I was like, fuck this game. Fuck all Personas. We're done here. We're done here. And I, maybe it was just me being naive, but I feel like the game should have told me that, and I just maybe had assumed that I had played a Persona game before, but I hadn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
once I found that out, so anyway, I traded the game in and I cursed the game. I told everybody I knew how shitty the thing was because of that reason. Anyway, but the game it pulled me back in. The game, I was out, but the game pulled me back in. And like 2 years later, like a couple of months ago, I bought it again, and I was like, I want to finish it now that I know what to do. And I've been just loving it. It's great. I'm not an anime person so much.
Yeah.
Like I like Attack on Titan. I don't like, I haven't experienced a lot of the other anime. To me, it's like, and I know lots of people are going nuts right now. Send me your recommendations for anime. It's like I'd like to enjoy more. I like Attack on Titan.
Don't send them to me. You can send them to him, please. I don't want to.
Yeah, you're not an anime guy either, right?
No, I mean I like.
You like FL, CL back in the day, where the Fooly Cooly they used to call it.
Yeah, I watch some stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
I don't need the legions of adoring anime fans sending me recommendations.
Oh. Well, I say it out of love. I don't like, I like it. I just my problem with it is there are certain things, like I tried to watch like the second Full Metal Alchemist series, and I just felt like lost. I don't know. It's like somebody comes in and they're just like, we're yelling really loud, and they got the wind goes past their face, and it's like all the anime trope stuff that it's just like, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know what's happening.
There's some stuff I enjoy, but yeah, Persona, like I'm also I haven't finished that either. But I made it, I don't know, 40-something hours in as well.
Well, this is what I like about, there are some anime things that you get, it's very stylized, which I like.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan that has yelling too. But the thing is, it has more, I feel like, more Western storytelling, where it's kind of like, it has cliffhangers, and it's very straightforward, and, characters die, stuff like that. But it feels very much like it was made in... very Western storytelling, if that makes sense. So like, and Persona is the same way, where it's like you're at school, like they don't leave any detail out. Like at the beginning of the game, you have that thing where you save the girl, and then the guy gets you in trouble. The guy who's basically trying to sexually harass or rape her, or whatever's happening at the beginning. And you save her, and then it's like
I know Joker is the main character, but I cannot remember anybody else's name right now.
Yeah, I can. Well, I can tell you that, but anyway, it's irrelevant. The point is, at the very beginning of the game, you get in trouble with the cops for this guy, and then for like 40 hours of the game, that guy doesn't come up until you just see him again, and there's a flash. I'm like, oh shit, it's that guy. And when the last palace of the game is that guy, Shido. He's like the guy from the very beginning. It's like everything matters. Everything is pretty straightforward. It's the gym teacher at the school. It's the Big Bang Burger CEO. It's like it's not ridiculous out of nowhere storytelling. Or like, what does this mean? I have no idea. So it's very it's Western storytelling, I feel, but with a with a Japanese sensibility, where it's like the style, the music, the over the top stuff. It's a good marriage.
The music is so. There's I'm not someone who keys in on music like you do. I wish I could I appreciated it more. Not that I could, but that I did.
Right.
But the music in that game, the battle music, the fight music, and then when you win the battle, is so catchy. I can't remember the hook right now, and I don't know that I'd want to sing it and embarrass myself anyways.
Oh, it's been in my head for months since I've been playing it.
So
I've been playing
good.
it, it's taken me a long time to beat it, but
and there's something to be said when that is always one of the issues for me with JRPGs is the burnout of like, I don't want to fight another battle. I don't, it's like I don't want to just press the X button.
You're talking about grinding.
Yeah, I don't want to grind through one more of these, like I really don't. Right. But when the music is that good, I'll grind through one more time.
Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, just to catch like the victory music in Final Fantasy games has got to be it's got to be it's up there with the most iconic, the codec sound or something like that. Right?
Well, we could have an entire podcast devoted to video game soundtracks, so maybe we'll do that next time. But
so this is just going to be totally scatterbrained, but on the topic of JRPGs, they're releasing the Secret of Mana collection for Switch.
Oh, it's already out. It's already out.
Yeah. So I know.
I want to play Trials of Mana. I never played that one.
And I know you played Secret of Mana, right? You were
Secret of Mana is one of my favorites. I played it so many times because it's that three-player co-op. I love co-op games, and Secret of Mana co-op is one of the best co-op games ever made.
So I should definitely go and grab that.
Yeah, Secret of Mana is one of the best games ever made. It's got a great soundtrack too. The magic's great. The graphics and Trials. I haven't played Trials of Mana, but it looks really good. I think that's 2-player co-op. Maybe we'll try that. But I think it's couch co-op. I don't know if you can play online.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we could. Well, we'll just we'll start up the Xbox Connect and
XP Connect. Yeah. Oh my god. It still exists, doesn't it? I think it does.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's run by some sort of Russian mogul who's like infecting your computer with spyware now. No, anyways.
It's Elon Musk. He's still running it.
Yeah, it's Elon Musk. Yeah, it's 420 plays in it on your computer.
On XP Connect. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. That trial. So it's a collection of the Mana games, and it looks like from looking at it in the Switch shop. It's like one of them is a Game Boy game apparently initially, and then there's Secret of Mana,
Final Fantasy Adventures.
Okay, and then Trials of Mana, and that game. I mean, that game has been unreleased in America for 20 years.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. That's the thing. It's like Seiken Daiketsu 3 or whatever. Like I heard like the music from it, like Overclock remix. Right. By the way, if you like video game remixes, overclockremix.com is great. Or ocremix.com, however it works. But that's it's great. Video game. They've been remixing video games music for a long time, 15 years. Now I get to mention these things. Anyway, I was going to say, speaking of Japanese things, Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night is coming out in like tomorrow, I think.
Oh right, is that really that soon? That's by the creator of Symphony of the Night, right?
Exactly. Creator of Castlevania, and that guy's hilarious. But I'm pulling for it because I love Symphony of the Night. I love the Castlevania games, and the same music guy's coming back. I think it's the same art guy, the same director. And
I've got my fingers crossed. That
I've been pulling for that game for sure.
That the guy, jeez, this is bad. The creator, the ones that made a Mega Man.
That didn't work out.
That
Mighty
was
Number
not
9
great.
You're talking about, right?
But like the original Mega Man creators, right?
Yes. Well, I remember there was the time when like Capcom, they were like, we don't want to release Mega Man games anymore. Nobody cares. And then the creator of Mega Man was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to do it myself. And then that didn't really work out so well. But Konami kind of went nuts, fired Kojima, and then it's like, we're going to make casino games or whatever the hell they do.
Now they make pachinko machines, toilet games or something.
Right. And I'm just like, Konami, what the fuck is your problem? And then they started releasing like their collections. And then, but now the Bloodstained guy, the guy from Konami, was like, I think you're wrong. I think people want Castlevania and crowdfunded, right? And it's coming out. And if that game is amazing, I'd just be so happy because I've been pulling for that game for years.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to. That's another great formula.
That'll be another review coming up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm interested in that as well.
Yes, but to answer your question about Persona 5, I'll say I'm really far into it. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I like the everyday sort of Japanese. I don't know what a Japanophile or whatever the term is, but I went in like 2014. And have wanted to go back really badly ever since. And
you went to Japan specific? Yeah.
I went to Kyoto and Tokyo, Osaka for like 2 minutes. It was great. It was awesome. That's I could talk to you about that for a while. But I like the a lot of that game is just sort of being there.
Life in Japan,
yeah.
The soundtrack, like my wife, she's not a gamer whatsoever. She likes Mario Party, and she just doesn't play. But Mario Kart, she'll play that kind of stuff.
Meredith's way in Mario Kart, yeah.
Right. And I'm trying to get her to see more things. I want her to play and see Ori and the Blind Forest because, like I said, that's one of the best stories I've ever seen. Makes me friggin' cry. Not a whole lot makes me cry. Yeah. So I want her to experience it. Anyway, so the reason why I bring that up is she would be. It sounds so bad. I'm playing video games. I was gonna say when she's making dinner, sometimes she'll hear the music in the background. I try to help. I want to help, but she likes doing it by herself. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I know that feeling. I'm like, come on, I don't know where is anything in here. Which drawer is the colander in? Because I would like to help, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, and I would like to know how to cook food. I'd like to help her, but she likes doing. Anyway, it's just real bad because I'm like, I'm playing video games. She's in the dinner
I
cooking me some
know, like
shit.
it's not an excuse. It's like
God, what a piece
we're
of shit I am.
just
Anyway.
bad people, but it's the truth at the same time.
Yeah, but anyway, but the point of that is she's in the kitchen and she's listening to the music. She's just listening to me play. She just thinks it's this weird game, but she asked me like what the title of it is. She's gonna look up some of the music online on Spotify or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just the power of that game. It's on in the background. You perk up and you're like, what is this? It's like crazy good style. Even though the game's wacky, but
and it is. Really, she would be right. It is a weird game. It's
a weird game for sure. It's hard to explain, but it makes perfect sense when you're playing it. If that makes it's just
yeah.
But anyway, I'm really loving it. It's better than I ever thought it would be, and if people people love RPGs, it's a definite one to try. And again, because I don't want to make any anime people mad, I legitimately would love to watch anime. I just haven't come across any that I have gotten into besides Attack on Titan. And if anybody could suggest ones that are more like a more less weird, less completely kind of there's a lot of storytelling that's convoluted in those, and I just want a very simple kind of Western type storytelling within that stylized world. If that's out there, maybe that loses the charm of it. I don't know, but I would like to expand my horizons with anime for sure.
Yeah, but Mob Psycho is a show that I've watched, is an anime.
Okay.
And we could do a podcast about that and watch a couple episodes, and I think there's like 2 seasons of it. That's pretty good.
Right.
But that's another topic.
Well, right, and if you'll have to tell me off mic, and then maybe I'll watch it and maybe we'll come back. But I was going to ask you, is Castlevania on Netflix considered anime?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
if it's not from Japan, if it's like an American cartoon or American anime, is that the same thing?
It's that style of animation, right? Like I think anything that the term is used so broadly now, right? Like it's probably. Yeah.
I just want to be respectful of whatever it's
like
called,
rap music or something, right? Like you wouldn't try to like compare, Drake and I don't know, Naughty by Nature, right? Like they're sort of totally different things, right?
Right.
But
I don't know what genre you would put. I mean, I don't know what genre you would put Drake in specifically, but I guess it's a
whiny genre, whiny man genre.
No comment.
You've got to Google Drake's horny watch after we record this.
Oh my god!
He paid a lot of money for a horny watch, and I'm just gonna leave that in there.
I don't even know what that means. Well, on this topic, okay, I'll Google it. I'll go down that rabbit hole. I was gonna say Old Town Road, which I feel like everybody's sick of at this point, but I'm fucking fascinated by Old Town Road. I don't like trap music and I don't like country music at all. But when you combine the two, and for whatever reason, I think I love the story of it. Like I think I love the fact that it's like it got kicked off the billboards, and then add the addition of Billy Ray Cyrus, and it's like now am I going to be on the billboards
or something in there too?
Yeah, it's a 9 Inch Nails sample. I love that it got big off of Red Dead Redemption 2. There's the video game connection, and and it's just I actually do like the song, and I like the video too, where it's like the living embodiment of country music. The two rednecks are going to go around the corner and kill them, and it's like we aren't allowed around here. Anyway, that you made me think about that, but that's a whole other topic too.
So you need to pick up, or maybe you already have Dragon Quest XI. That's the other one. You played that already?
I played that. Yeah, it was. Really, really good. Not as good as Dragon Quest VIII. I think it's the PS2 one. But too long. I'll say this.
Okay.
For me, it didn't offer enough new things. The soundtrack in that needed to be orchestrated. Maybe it is for the Switch now. But
yeah, that's coming out on the Switch too, right?
Yeah, I played it on PS4, I think, and that soundtrack the MIDI soundtrack was just, it needed a big soundtrack. It was just
it's kind of rough, yeah.
It's kind of
There's
rough.
one,
And it's
the
just
battle music. After you hear that for the 100th time, you're like, okay, maybe
right.
I'll just mute my television.
Yeah, let's play Spotify or something else.
Yeah.
But I really love Dragon Quest. It's just that game was way too long, and I just felt like I didn't need to complete it. Like it was, I didn't feel like the story was that compelling. I didn't feel
Okay.
like leveling up your guys was that compelling. Like with Persona, I want everybody leveled up. I want all the new weapons. I want like it's super compelling in that I love making my guys stronger. I want
Yeah.
to figure out what happens next. It's got that whole package. Another game kind of like that was Octopath Traveler, which
Yeah.
which is an amazing 40 to 50 hour game. It is not an amazing 80-hour game. Like it's just too
Which is how
long.
long it takes to complete it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't. I mean, I got to like 70 hours, and I'm like, man, uh, I just don't have the energy. If it's felt too much like grinding, the stories were okay.
Yeah,
Like they
that's
would
what
be
I've
really
heard
good, like 40 to
mostly.
50-hour games, but it was just too long. The music is spectacular in that game, so amazing.
And the
But
battle system's kind of neat, right? Like from
oh yeah,
what I played of it,
yeah,
like it was that you like you build up charges on any of your
yes,
attacks, right? And then you can unleash. It's basically like kind of change the flow of battle by saying, okay, I'm going to spend more energy or
right.
less energy on any single round of combat.
Yeah, I mean, I love the combat. I love the I like the characters. Like I said, the music, the art style, the leveling up. You know, it was okay. But yeah, if that game was 40 to 50 hours,
Yeah,
it would have been perfect. I would say it's one of the best games I've played in a long time. But
which is
for
still
70, 80
just a
hours, it's just not enough.
fucking lot of time to spend in one game. Like,
It's just well, it's just like arbitrary time. It's
yeah.
arbitrary time, like grinding, and it's
And that
just
just seems
they didn't need to be
that's just
that
a
long. That's all.
tenet of that genre, right? Like,
Yeah,
that is one of those things when we start to talk about like Japanese versus Western sensibilities, and I'm all for a wacky story. Like that's the thing. I
totally.
can buy in for a bizarre story, and I really there are just for whatever reason I feel like the culture calls to me, but the games that come out of the JRPG
Yeah,
genre,
right.
you know, I agree. Like I can 20 to 40 hours of one of these games sounds great. You know, like that's still going to
Yeah.
stretch out over months for me, most likely. Um,
Especially now when we're adults, we have wives and you have kids, and it's just harder to
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's hard to it's just hard to it's especially hard to feel like the game is being respectful of my time when it
right.
takes that long and it's just there's large swaths of it that are like I can't I want to so badly. I own every game we've talked about this evening.
Yeah,
Like I
me. I
own
think me
all
too. I think.
yeah, Persona and
Yeah,
all of these games I own them and it's like I play just like you said like 30, 40 hours of it and go, okay, that's enough. I'm done.
right. Well, like if a game can match my attention, if it can get my attention going for 100 hours, and that's one of the game. That's the best game. You know, those are the best games of the year. Like God of War wasn't 100 hours, but it was still like 60 for that type of game. It was crazy.
God of War was great.
Um,
Yeah.
that's why God of War was one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year by far.
Last year,
I
yeah.
liked it way more than I like Red Dead Redemption. I was like, "Where's the gameplay in this game?" I was just not a huge fan, but I get why
Yeah.
people love it. So don't castrate me.
It just looks, it's just so,
Yeah,
visuals
it's a
for
world.
me,
It's a world for sure.
it is, it's just that the visuals are incredible in that game.
Yes, but like Persona, I want to complete it for however many hours it takes, 140 hours, whatever. Like Witcher
Yeah.
3, I wanted to play the 200 hours for that game. I wanted to, and
Right.
those games are really, really rare for me. Otherwise, I think most games, if they're RPGs, 40 to 50 hours, like the Mass Effect 2 time, I think is about right.
Have you, on the topic of Japanese games, not a JRPG, but
Yeah.
have you played any of the Yakuza series?
I played one of them. I
Okay.
played. There was one that got really good reviews recently. I think it
Zero?
was probably Zero. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
just it. I don't know. It was.
Those
I just
games.
couldn't see myself. I couldn't see myself getting the gameplay loop to. I don't know if it was tedious or if it was not enough or if it's just like I was just like okay. I don't know.
Well, they feel
Whatever it was about it.
very. They feel very. At least that game. So they've gone back and re-released. The Zero was a
A lot
fresh
of them,
game,
yeah.
but it was
Right, right,
a
right.
prequel. and then they
Yeah.
re-released 1, and then they took a whole new engine and re-released their second game on it. And that is a series I have not played. They're called Kiwami. They add to the end of the title, and I don't know. I think it just basically means like energy or like balls out or something.
Balls out.
Yeah, I think it was Yakuza 2 Balls Out. But yeah, that's a genre that I can like just smacking a guy over the head with a trash can 1,000 times.
Hey, I got the Streets of Rage shirt on, so I'm all about the smacking guys in the head with a trash can, you know?
Yeah, maybe give Kiwami, Yakuza 1, Kiwami a second shot, because the storyline in those games kills me. Like, it's so... Kiryu is just like, I actually felt for him and was like, doing lame hand air pumps when he would, win and it would cry when he lost. Not really, but yeah,
I know what the problem was. I remember what the problem was. Not to cut you off.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, the problem I had with Zero was there was way too much dialogue. I was just like, dude, there is too much.
Well written.
I don't think it's bad dialogue necessarily. It's just like I'm a writer, and it's just like I'm all about saying less with more.
Yeah, there is a
saying
lot of
more with
it's
less.
Not voiced. Yeah. None of it's voiced over. Well, it's voiced, but it's all in Japanese.
Yeah, and it's just like I just felt like this is too much dialogue. Like I just felt like I'm skipping it, but you're playing it for the story, so like I can't skip the story. But like I just in that game at least, I felt like the dialogue was way too hefty, and I'm like, man, I don't care at this point. There's just too much of it. So maybe that was my issue. I don't know.
I think it. Yeah. I agree. It's very wordy, but I was constantly impressed, especially for something that, like I said, doesn't have an English voiceover, is just a translation. Yeah. And was like, to compare, translations for Japanese games are oftentimes awful. And
That's
true. Persona, actually, even Persona 5 is a decent example of that. It's not awful, but it's just like at times they'll word things in certain ways where I'm just like, oh, no one would ever talk like that.
Yeah, well, that's just oftentimes with those games, like Persona 5 is good dialogue, but yeah, it is a lot of dialogue that you would never say in real life, but it's Attack on Titan's the same way. Like none of that dialogue is real dialogue. Let's be honest. Nobody would say that in real life.
And then, you
just get used to it.
And that was that's one of the things. Anyways, I think the Yakuza series has got its merits and is another like sort of puts you in the place of feeling like you're in Japan, or you're one of these characters that's like living a life there, and I do enjoy that.
Yeah, and I brought up Castlevania, the Netflix show, because that's probably the only show that really I feel like got it right, except they don't use a lot of the Castlevania music in it, which kind of is disappointing, but I'll give a big but, because they use friggin' Bloody Tears from Simon's Quest in either the last episode or the second to last episode of the season 2, and it was amazing. And I was just like, thank God, finally.
That's another like,
this is so good.
A thing that is, pop culture and is Japanese, roots in Japan, but the dialogue's good. Like the writing,
it's got a good writer.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's believable and digestible.
It's a new spin on Dracula too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
right?
Dracula's actually kind of sympathetic in it, which is not what I expected. But
right.
Yeah. It was very, very good. It maybe not quite the exact same thing as the games, but it captured everything that I wanted to. Other than there was more music they could have used. Maybe it's a licensing thing. Maybe they're going to do it for season 3. They're going to add more music. But the fact that they used Bloody Tears for that battle, I was just like, this is so good.
Yeah.
The only other thing.
Music.
Yeah. And I was telling you before, the only other thing that I felt like really captured the spirit of the games was Street Fighter Assassin's Fist it was on YouTube on Machinima, which no longer exists anymore.
I have to check that out. There's a web, essentially a web series, right?
Yeah, and then there's a Blu-ray out there that they edited the whole thing into a big movie, which I think before Castlevania, maybe at least live action, it's probably the best live action video game thing that's ever existed. The thing that's the most close to the game, while simultaneously being its own thing. They use the music. You
don't think that the Street Fighter movie is?
I'm gonna get in my boat. I'm going to go up river and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass so hard.
As Raul Julia put in the.
I love Raul. Okay. A Street Fighter movie is one I love to hate. Yeah. And it's one of the best bad movies ever made. And Raul Julia is phenomenal in that movie. Yeah. Phenomenal.
Well, it's just a testament to like what a professional that guy is or was, right? Yeah. Is the fact that
his last movie because he was dying of cancer.
He's dying of cancer, and he's in.
But he is so good in that movie.
By these people that are just like out in left field, and he is still like absolutely driving it home. Yeah.
But for me, it was Tuesday. I still say that all the time. There's a lot of good quotes in that movie. I love that movie, but it's not the games at all. It's not, that's what I'm saying. Like Street Fighter Assassin's Fist is like a serious representation of what the games could be. The dialogue and the acting at the beginning at least is it's a little spotty, but it's like it actually gets really solid as it goes on. It felt like they were like finding it as they kind of the web series went on.
Well, we started off our conversation this evening saying we were going to talk about E3, and I feel like we've really like diverged here. Is there anything else from the show that you're?
Oh, there's a lot of things. I mean, this is like 14 podcasts at E3 because I'm excited about. Phantasy Star Online 2 in America. Holy shit! Another
weird, like
I'm
just
so excited.
Resurrected from the annals of Japanese only video games. Secret of Mana.
That seems to be the theme tonight is Japanese games. We'll get to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Holy shit, the ultimate.
Yeah, well, a couple of people have heard of that one at least. But yeah. PSO2.
Don't forget Streets of Rage 4. I'm wearing the shirt. That's coming out, but I don't know if it's going to be any good. We'll see. And Battletoads.
Yeah,
don't forget about that.
Battletoads is a real gem. But yeah, PSO2, like I saw an interview with Phil Spencer. They were like, why? Where and why and how? And it sounds like Phil Spencer was a fan of the game, and that's why.
Yeah. Well, Phantasy Star Online 1 is the best. It's still my favorite MMO of all time.
Yeah.
Even we played it so much on the Dreamcast, and we were using 56K, and it worked. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that were like super upset that this game was never released in America.
Right. By the way, we talked about meeting a lot of our friends from Halo 1. I met my friend Kyle, one of my best friends, from Phantasy Star Online. Like, I was at school, and we started talking about Phantasy Star and how we were going to play. We both got Dreamcast, and we started playing it. I think that's how we met, too. So it's like there's a lot of video game connections, like friend-wise.
Bringing people together. Yeah.
Bringing people together, yes. I keep saying that it's just like if you're at school and you're a loner, if you just start talking about video games, you'll get a friend. I mean, that's, it's a community that you can definitely be a part of. You just have to try a little bit.
It's a great common starting point for a lot of people. Yeah. Right.
And back to Phantasy Star. So Phantasy Star Online, the first one, is amazing. I wish they would re-release it with better graphics, but I've never played Phantasy Star Online 2 because it's only available in Japan. My friend Kyle has played it a lot. The import, he basically imported it and got a subtitle thing. But I don't think he knew what was going on in the story really. But he's been loving it, so he's super excited too.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I definitely will pick that up.
We should play together. It'd be fun.
Being able to play
that and Halo Infinite.
Xbox is, that's like I'm constantly tempted by Final Fantasy 14 just because I could play it on my PlayStation. So
right, yeah. So the other thing was, of course, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah,
I'm so looking forward to that.
That's just a no-brainer. That's going to be be right?
Yeah, you played the first one, right? I know we talked about this before, but you said you played it a little bit. Did you ever beat it?
Portion of it. No, I didn't. I haven't beat it.
Okay, if you do nothing else, go play that game and beat it, like the remastered one. They did like a second one where there's more stuff. Go play it and tell me that's not one of the best stories ever made. It's front to back. It's so great.
Yeah, I'll have to. The first, I played I think I sat down and played like 2 hours of it in a chunk, and then just for whatever reason, it's hard with talking about E3 and Xbox and sort of new releases. Game Pass is now bigger than ever, and so Game Pass is a subscription service for Xbox. It costs like from $9 to $15 a month or something like that, and there's just so many games. Like You know what I didn't mention? I'm playing Void Bastards on there as well, which I got from Game Pass, and Moonlighter I downloaded recently, and it's just crazy to have access. And Ori, the time back into Ori is available on there, and it's like, it's so hard. I feel like I have video game specific OCD. Like, it's just I'm all over the place. It's hard to sit down and play a game to completion sometimes.
Well, if you have, it's one game that you could probably sit down and have your kids watch you play.
Yeah.
But it's like a living Pixar movie. But yeah, I mean, you've seen it. But if you do nothing else, my recommendation to you is to play that game all the way through, and you tell me that story isn't one of the best video game stories ever made. And there's so little dialogue; it's just all visual storytelling and music.
Yeah, I've got to go back, and I really got to go back and play that.
Super recommend that. Anyway, so that's at E3. God, trying to think of what else.
Keanu Reeves.
What? Keanu Reeves, Cyberpunk. I'm so excited for that.
Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk 2077. And,
I know, that makes me so happy. I love
Who
Keanu
knows
Reeves.
if the game's going to be good, but Keanu Reeves.
It'll be good. It's Witcher. It's the Witcher makers. It's going to be good. And Bill and Ted 3 will be good too, and that's going to be amazing.
Is that a video game? No.
No, it's... Okay, fuck. I was like, God damn it. Yeah, but that's going to come out, and that's going to be awesome. Yeah, God, I'm trying to think of...
It's sort of a weird... There was plenty of... I came away with the impression there's plenty of good stuff. There's going to be a lot of great games releasing. Yeah, great games. There's going to be a lot of great games releasing over the next year.
GGHL!
But it's a weird year, right? Like, because both Xbox and PlayStation have got consoles releasing.
GLHF, sorry.
What? Say what?
Nothing. I said HL. I meant GLHF. Good luck. Anyway, I'm interrupting you. I'm apologizing. I'm a big fucking slob.
But yeah, like it's a weird year, right? Like you've got these consoles that are around the corner, and then on top of that, there's like this Google Stadia stuff coming in to sort of throw everybody into another direction. Yeah, like are we? Is it realistic to think that in the next console cycle we're going to just be streaming all of our games, or?
I still am not convinced that there's not a latency issue. If you can play those games like at 60 frames per second in 4K or 8K, and there's no lag from like the controller or the screen or anything, and like in multiplayer there's no lag, then I'll be convinced. But until then, I fucking doubt it.
Well, but that's probably true. But there's a lot of games now that like I don't know, like the Assassin's Creed series to go like a more action and oriented game, right? You could totally play that game with like a half second of lag to almost even a second of lag, just like always occurring because it's so animation based, right? Like like nothing is really twitchy in that game, or like a JRPG or something, right? Like you could
like I played Ni no Kuni on the PlayStation Now, streaming through that, and it felt a little bit laggy, but it was doable because it wasn't like it wasn't like shooting or anything.
But I agree. I mean, like there's no way you're going to be able to play a game like Ori with any latency whatsoever because it's so timing based.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree. So it's good. Time will tell on the Stadia. God, I'm trying to think of what else. I know there was other things that I was super
Microsoft
interested
Flight
in.
Simulator.
Oh, I was actually like, holy shit, does that look good?
It does look good. It does look good.
But I'll never play it. But I mean, it's my dad would probably be interested in it.
Well, it'll probably. I mean, it'll come. It'll come with your Game Pass subscription, right? So like that's one of those.
Is that what
things.
they said? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's first party Microsoft, so it's like everything that's first party. I mean, Halo when it releases will be Gears, like all of these things are.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
I don't have Game Pass as it is right now, but I'll try it out.
Yeah, I mean, but at $9 a month or whatever, it's like if you've got access to the But yeah, it's a weird year. There's like, I don't know, I'm just Doom. There's going to be a new Doom coming out. That looks great.
I know you were super excited for that.
There's Gears, the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay, Final Fantasy VII remake, we finally come to this full circle. I think it looks amazing. My only thing is that I don't know I don't know if I like them changing fundamentally how it plays. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of like a mix between Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy XII a little bit, which I love 12. 12 is amazing, I feel. But at the same time, I'm like, I could always go back and play 7. So, like, you know,
right.
if
It's
it's
not
new and
going
it's got new
away.
stuff. The only thing that I don't like about it is that they're gonna split up the games. I heard that it might be like all based in Midgar.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And they're calling this one just remake right now. Final
Yeah, but
Fantasy
they're
VII remake.
right.
And
But they're also saying,
yeah, there's going to be a couple of them, right?
wife texting me. Yeah, sorry. Yes. Well, that's my biggest thing is that if it's like 3 games and like the first game is all Midgar, and then it's like because Midgar is probably the worst part of. I mean, it's amazing still, but I mean, just like when the game opens up, that's when Final Fantasy VII really becomes like incredible
Right.
too. I mean, both are good, but I mean, like
That's
my
what I
brother
mean.
was saying, like the game opens up and then it's like the whole world,
And
and
that's a lot of JRPGs, right? Like
right.
is that you oftentimes will hear just play it for 30 hours. Like just get 30 hours in and then it gets really good.
I've heard a lot of that. Yeah.
Right? Like and it's a hard thing to say and hear, but it's true. So yeah, right? Like
Yeah.
that Midgar section is not necessarily people's favorite sections, and that's maybe the only part of the Final Fantasy remake anybody's going to get for the next 2 years.
Possibly. I mean, that's what they said. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it if Midgar is one game. That would annoy me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree. That is not my favorite. Final Fantasy VII, I bounced off of hard, which is a bummer because I know people love, like you and I and John played 6 together. And that
I played
was
6 so many times.
yeah, way after it had released. But that was great, and I there was just a lot of.
Are you saying you never got into 7?
Yeah, 7 I just bounced off of hard.
No. I love 7 so much.
The like square hands. I don't. Everything. The games are so visual for me, and like the graphics in that game are just.
Well, if you played it the second it came out, you'd be like, "This is one of the greatest looking games of all time." But if you tried to play it like 5 years later, you'd be like, "Well, PS2's out, and obviously it looks horrible." But
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, even at release, I had trouble with.
Really?
Anyways. But
no, I get it.
But yeah. Is there an audience for this game that looks? It shares a name with the game that was released in 1996 or whatever it was.
It's got the same music. That's a big plus.
It shares the music, right? Like it's got all these callbacks, but otherwise, it seems like it's nothing like the original game. And I just, the successful remakes recently, even things like Resident Evil 2, right? Which
I love Resident Evil 2 remake. I think it's great.
But you would have to. No one could argue that it plays anything like the original Resident Evil 2, right? But it's fantastic, right? Like it's great. I agree. It was fantastic. So it's interesting to see if they're going to be able to sort of tap in. Is it going to be familiar enough to make the the fans, the people who love that original game?
All they had to do for me to love it was, or like maybe orchestrate the music, have the same exact battle system, have the same exact way it plays, just with better graphics. All I needed was a better presentation.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. So they're going the extra mile with it, and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
It looks cool. It looked like if someone were to say, "Hey, this is Final Fantasy 16," I would be like, "Okay,
oh
great.
Oh my god, this is so good." Yeah.
Yeah, this looks fantastic. But yeah, to hear that it's this is one section of a game, this other game, and it's strange. It's hard to see where that's going to end up.
It could go either way. That battle system that they got cooking up could be amazing. It could be a better experience.
Fucking expensive. That's all I could like. The graphics are ludicrous.
I hope how you level up and how you put materia on is all the same. Maybe they'll do an upgraded
materia now, right?
Yeah. It's like built into the sword.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, are they going to have like a sphere grid? I feel like I'm saying that right.
Jrpgs.
Sphere grid.
Being infected by me, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be like Final Fantasy X or like Final Fantasy 12 with the gamut system, or not the gamut system, but the license board.
Right.
Just stuff like that. But I don't know. It's too early to tell. I think it looks amazing, so that's I guess where I'll leave that off. God, I know there's a ton of things. Oh, I'll say Ghost Recon Breakpoint which we already got stuff before E3 for that, but I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know if you are.
That's what that's one of those games that I played a little bit of Wildlands, but I played by myself, and
don't play it by yourself.
Yeah, it seems like a game that you gotta sit down for co-op.
Well, I'm always a fan of games that have the big open world, but it's like Mercenaries. Like I have a Mercenary sitting there. There it is, right there. So like Mercenaries has a great soundtrack. It's just one of Michael Giacchino, how you say his name. The guy does the music for Up and Lost and all these things. He's got one of the best soundtracks right here in Mercenaries. But the reason why I bring it up is the big board, the Deca 52, where you go after the lieutenants and the generals, and you kind of pick where you go up, and you make your way up to the, you pick who you go after. Right. Assassin's Creed Odyssey did that. Like brilliantly. It was so good. But also Ghost Recon Wildlands does that when you're going after El Sueño and his like lieutenants and his little level dudes.
That's right.
So this one's going to have, I'm sure, the wolves leading to John Bernthal at the end. So I'm assuming it's going to be like that. Yeah,
did you see that? It was where he brought his dog on stage. I think that is his actual dog.
Yep, that's a good way to win people's hearts right away.
Yeah.
I actually liked him showing up. He seemed really interested in it, and I kind of loved how he was like, and then you're coming after me. Like it was like he's like into it to the point where it's like he's just like, and then you got to come after me, you got to kill me. And I was just like, I like that idea where the actor goes up there and he's super into it and he's like, come after me in the game. I don't know.
It felt cool. A little bit like not Keanu Reeves. It felt like the back of the box for like Scanners or something, where it was like
Scanners.
Yeah, it was what's his name? Jack Bauer is. What's the actor's actual name?
Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland's like, Kiefer Sutherland is not afraid to die. I was like, what? Wait, personally or?
In Scanners or Flatliners?
I don't know. Maybe that's Flatliners.
That
would make sense. Yeah, he's not. He wasn't. He's never afraid to die. Keanu Reeves. I'm just gonna keep I've got Keanu Reeves on the brain. All right.
Yeah, no, I know. I just think it looks like a better game. The part with drones and stuff like that, like it looks like the enemy variety is a lot better.
Yeah.
I just looking forward to it. I don't know. It just looks really good because I liked Wildlands, except it was again way too long and the story wasn't very good. So if this has a better story and it has better enemy variety, better gameplay stuff, then I'm really really looking forward to it. God, there was another thing I was going to bring up with that, but I don't know. Maybe we'll play that in co-op, and I think it's.
Yeah, I definitely. I think that co-op seems to be the way to consume those games, and we'll see. Hopefully, it's a good time.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember anything else about E3, so maybe we're calling it. Maybe we're getting to the end of the road here. We're both like, all day. We work today.
It was small from what I understand. I mean, neither of us attended, but
I watched all the stuff. I didn't think Bethesda's conference was that great, even though it's like basically trying to fix Fallout 76, which I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, that whole thing bugs me. I was a big fan of the original Fallout games, of like Fallout and Fallout 2.
I love Fallout 3 and the rest of them. Yeah.
Fallout 3. I mean, those games are good too. I played a lot of Fallout 3 and 4. But I mean, it seems pretty obvious that they're not doing what's in the best interest of their fans with those games, and it's
the fans wanted to talk to people and have quests. It just seems so ridiculous that they didn't do that.
And now they're like, and we're gonna have Battle Royale in here. So did anybody ask for a Battle Royale mode inside of like?
I didn't.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I don't want to dig on that stuff too much. But it was not the. Aside from Doom, I think that was at they own id now, and that looks like it's just gonna be a fucking good time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, I'll think about the other E3 stuff, and maybe next time we'll talk about video game soundtracks. And by then, hopefully we'll be playing. Like, I'll hopefully have beat Persona 5. We can talk about that maybe. But what are you gonna play next? What are you playing right now? I don't know if you answered that.
Yeah, so I'm just about to wrap up Cadence of Hyrule, and
you said you were playing that, but I thought you said you were done because you said it was short.
It is short, but it is short from what I understand. But I can tell I'm towards the end. And there's like 4. Yeah. You've got to beat 4 bosses to get to the final boss, and I'm 2 of 4 down. And the
2 of 4 down. Okay, actually, my laptop's dying here. It's in battery saver mode, so I don't know how the whole audio sync's gonna work at the end of this. God, I hate technology. I suck. I need to plan this better. Anyway, let's. I say that because I'm saying let's maybe leave it for next time. Maybe we'll talk about what game you're playing and what game you're playing next on the next one.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Anyway, so I need to come up with some kind of fancy tagline for ending this thing, but we'll say at the end, play some great games. Great games, GLHF. Good luck, have fun.
Have fun.
What else you got there?
Talk to you soon, right?
Maybe we'll see you on XP Connect if we go back in time, if we get a time machine.
Yeah, we'll get the LAN. We'll play Trials of Mana and connect it over XP Connect.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to play Halo 1 again. That's what I want to do. But anyway, if anybody cares to watch these, if anybody has any comments of what you want us to talk about and what you want us to review, let us know. Anyway, so for me and Chris over there, Cheese, my buddy Cheese.
Yeah, it was good talking to you once again. Thank you for joining me on this adventure through the aging mind of a 30-something.
That's right. The aging mind of almost middle-aged people. All right, anyway.
Middle-aged, yeah.
Right. Having trouble figuring out how to sign off. We'll come up with something. We'll get better. Anyway, until then, have some great games.
See you later.